Start recording. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2026 standard stream. I am Captain Scotch. The general goal of this stream is going to be to update two of the big resources that we've got in the Ascension Speed Show Discord. In addition to that, I'm planning on doing a tier ranking of the items of the month. Let me look at who's available on the stream. If anybody wants to talk, please just tag me in the chat. You can, I guess you can either do Twitch or Discord, but I am significantly more likely to see it if you do it on Discord, because that's on the screen I'm directly looking at. So cool. So to start out, we are going to update the standard 2026 pull list. I did a handful of small updates to this a few days ago, but I did not do an actual full bore update. Oh, there's a request to speak button. Sick. Yeah, if anybody wants to speak, just request to speak. In theory, you should be audible on Twitch if you do that. If I've put this together correctly, which I have no real way of knowing if I did or not. And honestly, my money would be on I didn't, but that's okay. So today is the 16th. So user Naserte, I may have said that wrong, posted a good amount of things that just needed to change about this. I think the first one, Milestone, is out, so we are going to yeah, that's what I was going to do. I'm just going to put the ones that are dead in the softcore polls 2021 so that I don't forget it exists when I'm doing unrestricted runs, assuming I ever get the chance to do them again, which I have a child now, so the answer to that is probably never, but never say never. So Loathing Idle Microphone doesn't exist anymore. It's dead forever. Shadow Bricks. Ironically, they do exist, so in case anyone is unaware, combat items do not actually reflect the standard restrictions that you are under in a standard Ascension. So if you can get a Shadow Brick and run, you can use it, but you cannot pull it because technically speaking it is out of standard. This is... I feel like this is something that the powers that be might eventually change, but Sam and other devs have previously told me that it is a little bit unlikely, just because that involves changing some of the more annoying parts of combat barcode, and is just kind of a pain in the ass, and they would rather use CDM's dev time doing things that are actually meaningful and not just messing with the Shadow Brick. That said, if they were to just, add a fire extinguisher type item that could steal 10 items in a single combat, you probably would want to make that effort as part of the item of the month release. So, fun stuff there. But as it stands, no longer a pull, so I'm taking it out. Let's see here. Pocket wishes are gone, and I think we mentioned wishes a billion times here. We do not have monkey paw wishes anymore. Saves some chest mimic eggs, or unlocking homeless guy. Let's see here. We do not have a... We don't have Paul Wishes anymore, so this would be saving a yellow red return, generally. Busks. Because we have busks, we don't have wishes. Okay, I've now turned off all mentioned wishes, I think. Yeah, nice. There's a wraith howling in my environment? What? This is like the quietest room in the history of the human race. I don't... Alright, I am going to mute myself for 1 second. And then I am going to listen to the Twitch stream to try and hear whatever it is happening here. Yeah, I didn't hear anything when I tried to look on Twitch, but that's okay, I guess. I don't... Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay, there may be an echo there for a second. My apologies. Yeah, the background static is a little weird, but it is entirely possible, Sam, that you are hearing you're just hearing ghosts and demons, and I don't know. I'm tired, guys. I have a baby. Alright, so let's see here. On my list, can cross out bricks, can cross out loathing idol, milestone, wishes. Candy cane, sword cane is no longer in standard. Goodbye. Ooh, that's a really good point. I've got Moss Marlin Spike. This synergizes with the Legendary Seal Clubbing Club, because that allows you to pickpocket every 2 combats and twice in the same fight. Sick. I am keeping it at a turn value of 2 though, because I love pickpocketing. That's just who I am as a thing. Ooh, I see that Hacks has brought up my haunted laptop. It is entirely possible that this theoretical demon ghost is just the fact that I have KOL Mafia on right now. It's not actually running, but it is on, which means that my computer is fanning really, really loud. Yeah, actually, now that I'm listening, the fan is pretty loud. Hopefully it's not being caught on mic, but, you know, if it is, that's fine. We're having a good day here. I'm gonna move my microphone closer, too. Alright, so... Candy cane, sword cane. I mention it once. If you have no taker space, I can take out the second part. No taker space. I appreciate that you think I sound handsome, Sam. That is trivially disproven by going on, I was going to say Slack, by going on Twitch and seeing my exhausted ass face. Ooh, actually, no, Dizzy, you are entirely right. I did the dishes and my wife is putting them away. So that is probably what it is. I could close the door, but I'm not going to. Alright. Candy cane, sword cane. Confetti. Do I mention confetti? Like non-standard confetti extravaganza. Yep. Oh, that's a really good point, Zask. I should definitely mention Steely Marbles in the lewd deck. So 69 sleaze damage plus 69 sleaze damage. Although, if you have the codpiece, you can sneak in 65 damage in this slot, which makes this just 135 damage. Still probably worth a pull, but not as much a slam dunk. Oh wait, no, it's not 200 damage. It's 138, so that's just 73. Wait, actually, in that case, you probably want to pull a halibut, maybe. Unless you got a gun from the Mobius, right? Jeez. We have a lot of options for sleaze now. Alright, cool. Perfect. Let's see. So that CSCZ gone, confetti gone. Confetti gone, booze. Oh yeah, booze doubling. So we've got under our growth turn bloat pulls. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think we have Thanksgiving. Oh wait, yeah. So for this, great nightcap. Also, if you have the cooler Yeti, consider doubling the adventures on this for a bonkers 90 adventure nightcap. Alright, so we have Thanksgiving rations. There was a non-food thing from that year that was really good, right? It was rations and it was, yes, Easter eggnog. I believe Easter eggnog has the same stats as the rations. Drunkenness. Sweet. 3. Drunkenness. And then this year we got a few other things, right? 9 for an AP. Nice. Alright. So less good than the food equivalent with Thanksgiving. And then the prize winning cheese and rum. That's size 218 if I remember correctly. Honestly, we could just look this up in oaf. Item, prize, bottle of prize one rum. Oh, no, we can't. Interesting. Although it isn't super ultra epic, so it probably is actually smaller. It probably does bear mention here, though, because despite only being 2 fullness, drunkenness, prize winning rum/cheese. "14 adventures, 2 full drunk." Well, these aren't great for turn gen. They come equipped with a +5 familiar experience buff, but it's worth your time in most runs, provided... Oh wait, 3 XP. Ah. Alright, maybe not worth your time. That is potentially worth your time in some runs. +5 weight. Great question, Angelade. I have so far just been randomly doing things because I have some post-it notes of what I intended to do for this this run. This stream. I'm really tired, guys. It's been a long week. But we could start from the top. I mean, what's due, still super valuable. Slightly less so now than it used to be because there are ways around it. But pretty good. Trip script still useful. Machete is still useful. Book of Matches I feel like we should put down in turn value. This actually is not as much as it used to. So I am going to say that Book of Matches is probably more like a 1-turn pull rather than a 3-turn pull, especially given all of our ways of stealing things from monsters if we actually wanted to try and get it in run. Cold Weather Gear, still pretty useful. Hero Key Lime Pie, still pretty useful. I think... Yeah, I'll delete that. I will move this guy down to the Tempura Cauliflower range. Delete. Yeah, Hero Key Lime Pie is crazy. It is probably worth noting that. One day, softcore, KLPs save you 25 turns. Woof. Alright. So, Structural Ember. This one's weird because if you can't pull an extra one, so if you generate it with your embers, there's no reason to pull it. I probably should actually put this here because I think that is important context. Note, you can only use 1 structural ember per day, so if you already generated one via the embers, you do not want to pull this. Sick. Star chart. Now that, I mean, given the fact that we have Peridot and Refract, I don't think Star Chart is quite as good anymore. Like, it's still decent, but it's not like unbelievably great. I probably will move this down to like 1 to 2. Fertilizer, drum machine, deck. Deck I'm going to get down to 1 to 2. Drum machine I'm also going to get down to 1 to 2. Chained Bean. Yeah, if you don't have bat wings, it's still useful. Rusty hedge trimmers, useful. Mix, it's not bad. I probably would say this is 1 right now, given how much meat drop we have with all of our busks. Worth more the less meat drop you have. Basically. Less than ever with busks. Standard. But still. Oh, your busks don't generate. Should not do that. Alright. You're saying that if you use the monodent, the C, and the cube zirconia concert, you can refract onto the generated sunfish and yellow ray it for 3 hedge trimmers. This could be your last one, or you could use club across the battlefield for +1 trimmer on your yellow ray. Though, well, you want to have greater than 500% item drop for that kind of a tall order. Cool. Alright, tempura, I'm gonna put this at 0 to 1. Beret, tangle of rat tails, you should definitely have it if you get it. Yeah, pick me surgeon gear. Yeah, I'm just gonna say this is 1 because I can't imagine a world where you don't get it, but in the kind of post refract world and post peridot world, we will want to still have this on the list. And some people don't have it. Knobgot perfume is fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Good shit. Actually, we are not somewhat banish starved in this meta. There are a lot of banishes in this meta. I'm taking out that note. Yeah, I just realized. Oh wait, no, I did start recording. Nice. Okay, cool. Goat cheese is fine. Cluster bomb is not. Let's see. I'm just gonna do that. Saves 1 coilover. Add 1 adventure. If you pull an ore, there should really be enough bowling balls for you to access naturally. I can probably take out the goose dupe and the polar pockets. That swoops, whoops, and club across the battlefield are your friends here. You can pull them. I'm keeping HOA regulation book because it's funny. And for facsimile dictionary, that's also fine. I did actually put a note, if you hover over it, that does remind you that you can also use gold wedding rings and giant pearls. That was a good catch, Angelade. Killing jar. You can get one and run with your relative ease. Alright. This thing is done. Crepe paper parachute cape, still dope. 5 is probably a little high for it, but I don't care. I think it actually is. It's like low level item of the month value, so I'll give it like a 4, but it's sick. Um, Patent Invisibility Tonic. Yeah, I think Patent's actually pretty good. Lucky Moai statue. I'll say 1 to 2 still. Clovers aren't that useful, all things considered. Like, they probably could use a little bit of a power boost, but they're fine. Um, so, just pulling 1 clover. Sure, I guess. Duonoculars. I'll keep that at 1, actually. People sleep on Duonoculars, but it is a pretty okay pull. iFlail is also a pretty okay pull. Though I don't need to mention Cleaver, because that's not in standard right now. Okay, so Payak. Are there any short buffs that we have in standard? Oh wait, like Cyclops or Inhaler or Busk buffs from your Prismatic Beret. Cooling down Zap Wands, that's fine. We aren't getting a Zap Wand right now. Rusted Out Shooting Iron, that one's weird. I didn't even know that we had that in here. I guess we have iFlail. We should probably have Rusted Out Shooting Iron. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Dice Gear. Love it. The hippie outfit, not actually very useful anymore. You get a bunch more meat, some booze, some food. The booze and food is basically all terrible. Yeah. Consider pulling if you don't have a summon source, e.g. Chest Mimic or Numerology Excess, e.g. an Avatar Path. And Hot Stench Resistance. We don't have any extra, like, cool new resist pulls. Do we? I don't think we do. I know we got, like, a good, Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point. iFlail is ranged, isn't it? No, it's ranged, which means you can't dual wield with the Momadant for your Sunfish fights. You know, so it's funny you say that, Bobson, because I have actually pulled so Bobson in the chat noted that you could pull a defective great game grid token for +5 familiar XP in Cold Res. I actually have pulled it before, although it was not in a standard path. I pulled it in one of the old avatar paths for pool skill, because it was an avatar that couldn't drink anything, and I didn't, like, because I was trying to do it in one day, I didn't have enough sneaks to reasonably just do, like, 4 sneaks there, or whatever it is. But the familiar experience is actually a good call. Now, this does make me wonder. Okay, yeah, we've got the Candy Egg Deviler here. It's kind of like the Candy Egg Deviler, because it's basically worth defective game grid token. I wouldn't say it's worth 2 a day, mainly because it's not 30 turns, it's only 5 turns, but I could see maybe 1 a day usage. And yes, Joe, for some reason the defective game good token is standard. I think because it still gets minted on a, like, several a week kind of basis. you could make a pretty reasonable argument that that still shouldn't necessarily count because there's a lot of things that still get minted from old items and mods. But kind of a wonky poll. We get +5 to everything. Notably, we get +5 familiar XP, +5 pool skill for liverless avatars, and stuff. Other stuff. Cold res? Still. Consider pulling, if you're pulling a Payak, for 10 adventures per day of a whole lot of familiar XP. And that should not be centered and should be wrapped. There we go. That is a good one, Benson. Bobson, not Benson. I mean, I guess your name in the chat is Benson, but still. Wait, what do you mean not one a day? That it's not, that you wouldn't value it at kind of like one turn a day? Because you do get to use it over and over again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you don't want to pull extra, sorry. Okay, cool. So let's see here. Cyclops eye drops, still good. Dice gear, still good. Let's see here. Mouthwash is still pretty crazy. I should probably take the parka out of here. Like huge, large. 15. Make huge, large is 15, right? 5 pieces, 3. Yeah. Okay, cool. Alright. Let's see here. So. I'm going to add one note to the end. Recent runs. A full shiny set can relatively trivially hit 35 to 37 cold resist. Yeah, Monking Paw is out of standard. Minor invulnerability is out. Your exotic parrot, or what's it called? Cooler Yeti. That's another 2 to 3. Cold Powder adds 1. Cold Wad adds 2. Well, Cold Wad doesn't really add 2 because you're not going to actually use a Cold Wad. Okay, and now that I look at this, I realize this means I have to redo the math on this. I don't like that, and I'm just gonna put a note to myself to do that later. Comment. Redo the math, homie. I refuse to put Rainbow Pearl Earring in there. And yes, I do realize that my... oh wait, is it in there? No. Wait, pulling a mouthwash? Yeah, this is pulling a mouthwash. That was what I was just editing. But yeah, so cold res... Oh wait, I already have Rainbow Pearl Earrings in there. You're right. Damn. Alright. Cool. So glitch season I'm going to keep in here, even though I don't think it's actually worth it right now. I don't know. It's still a free fight. It's fun. You get a bunch of meat. Not bad. The Adobe rewards, I still think these are pretty bad, but, you know, the 40% meat buff is fine. The ads is a bunch of extra familiar weight, which is fine. Yeah, overall, I think this is totally fine. Layer cake is fine. We already mentioned that red rockets are not in standard. We mentioned Cooler Yeti there. Cool. I don't mind keeping the Adobe just because this is something that a relatively new player can get kind of for free. Like, you just run standard and you can just get them. Now, that said, you could make a pretty reasonable argument that the rewards from last year are better, but I think that they're fine to keep in here just because it's reasonably easy to get, and if you have nothing else and you don't own mouthwash, you aren't going to get all your leveling done with like one mouthwash pull. So, okay, cool. We got rations in there. We got eggnog. We put the prize-winning rum and cheese. I'll put the salvage wine if you're filthy rich. Salvage wine is 12 adventures per drunkenness. Is it? I'm just going to put 12. Okay, so now 11 adventure per drunk. And that's size 2, right? Or is it size 1? Size 1? Okay. Size 1 booze, but essentially like pulling an extra Pilsner. Kinda wacky and incredibly wasteful. But that's what one day runs are sometimes. Alright, Fleetwood, still good. Yeah, I'm gonna move this, like, down a peg, because I don't think it's better than most of these. And it's on the same level as, like, Milk with Magnesium, I think. Yeah, 12 Night is here, it'll be above it. Thumb Ring is here, above. I'm never gonna take this out, even though it is the silliest usage. But okay, cool. I think we're fine. So I think Ultra Mega Sour Ball's in here, right? Oh, is it not? Oh wait, yeah, it kind of is. I'll add a row below for Ultra Mega Sour Ball, 24 pencils, but expensive. C-Box above. You know, yeah, I'll add that. It's not bad. Also adds a bonus to adventures to a deluxe layer cake. Incredible. Okay, I see somebody in the Twitch stream messaged that they're taking a shit, so that's cool. I've never. I'll put it this way. Because I basically just stream me doing Excel, or in this case Google Sheets, I have never really had to deal with the idea of me being a, quote unquote streamer and getting people in the chat telling me that they're taking a shit. So this is a great experience for me. So I would like to say thank you to Creative Mins. So thank you. Alright, cool. So, let's see here. Mafia Middle Finger Ring, still good. Candy Egg Deviler, still dope. Handheld Allied Radio, still dope. Defective Game Grid Token, we just added. I think we should add Phosphor Traces. Let's see here. Phosphor Traces is like 1 turn a day. Phosphor Traces. If you don't have Leprecondo, might be worth a pull for +1 copy. What is the other pill? I know it gives you Punch Out Your Foe. What's it called again? Ugh. Thank you. Scoop of pre-workout powder. Actually, no, it's not. That's just 1. If you don't have Leprecondo, might be worth a pull for +1 free run banish. Joe, we're just not going to consider anyone that wants to pull the 3rd thing. That sounds not like something anyone should do. Let's see here. So Anchor Bomb still in. Pea Soup still in. Claw the Infernal Seal still in. I think this is pretty much everything. I don't think that we've missed anything major that I would want to pull. I think the only one that I was thinking maybe is, yeah, I guess Spitball could be added, since if you don't actually have access to it, that might be useful. The other one I was thinking was the Pheromone Cocktail, or whatever it is. The one that has the Banish in it. Because we already do have things like Throwing Ember here. The only thing I would say is it's not a free banish. So it's not really a full turn saved unless you have, like, absolutely no banishes. I'll put it on. Why not? Insert 1 row above. What's the one? Pheromone Cocktail. Bad adventure gain item that does give you a turn taking banish. If you don't have DCC, not a terrible pull, but if you have one, please don't. Then Codpiece. I see what you mean, that it would be not a bad idea to put kind of like what to put in Codpiece. I don't know if I want to figure out how to integrate it into the structure of this sheet right now, though. So, then Moss Mace mentions Fluta, does it? Yep. Cool. Alright, I think this is cool, probably. Alright, I think that we have successfully updated this sheet. Oh, wait, nope. Mixed Berry Jelly actually does have value as a pull. That's a good one. I'll put this over here. Mixed Berry Jelly. 1-ish. If you don't have the Mobius Rag, this might be worth a turn or so of value. Maybe. Possibly. gonna say that's less than one. Alright, cool. So, we have done one of the 3 things that I wanted to do in this stream. I do know that my wife is going to want me to actually help with our daughter's bath time experience. So I am going to switch to the more fun other thing that I had, which was... Oh, crap. Continue, you're right. We did not actually get to those at all. That's a really good point. Oh, goodness. Crap is fun. That's, yeah. No, you're right. Twitch stream. I'm gonna put a note in the growth polls for, I'll probably put it like after the UMSB, but above that kind of stuff. 2026 standard boards adds organ capacity. Fun but weird. Poll for extra turns. Maybe. Actually, I guess the one question I would have is, can you actually kill the sorceress and release the king if you are over full, except you have the item on so that you've got that kind of like +1 fullness? I would assume that you can, because it's expanding the overall limit. But I also wouldn't be like 100% shocked if you couldn't. No, it's not. I should probably just kind of like highlight that and I'll check it later. Oh, nope, not that. And then I'll insert notes on specifically good enchantments. Sick. Alright. Cool. So, now, the fun part. We are going to tier all of these items of the month. I say this as if this is like a huge, powerful thing here. So I have nicely laid out all of the items of the month. What order do you all want me to go in? F through S. Okay. So I am going to interpret this as start at the thing that looks like Fantasy Realm and end at the thing that looks like wrapped underwear sculpture. That sound good to everybody? Excellent. Let's see here. Middle of the period outward actually makes more sense for this. So I'm going to start with Kiwi. Kiwi is not unusable because we actually really need the the sleaze damage that it gives us at this point. It also does give a little bit of turn bloat. I don't think it's particularly efficient turn bloat, but it's like medium useful. I'm gonna put it in meh for now, but it might move down. The beret is really, really frustrating. The actual value of it is pretty high because we don't have other wish sources. So this is where you have to go if you want to get the Dirty Pair effect. This is where you have to go if you want to get like Warm Shoulders or any of those like weird familiar weight buffs. But it still leaves me feeling a little bit cold because the beret is so fucking annoying to use every single run. And I say this knowing that I've only used it... Oh, that's not totally true. Because I did use it in all of my 11,037 Leagues Under the Sea runs. And it was annoying, though not terrible in those runs. So I, I I'm going to put it at the top of B tier, and I may move it up, but I agree with Cotillio's note in the chat that it's A tier, but it probably will be in B tier out of spite for how annoying it is to use. Cooler Yeti. I think I put Cooler Yeti slightly ahead of Kiwi because Kiwi you can kind of get around. Like in a softcore run, you could probably get away with only doing. I mean, honestly, if you don't have Kiwi, like you can just pull sleaze damage, or you can potentially use Beret for extra sleaze damage. Like there are kind of ways around what it gives you. 100 turns of 100% item and 100% meat is just sick. Like, if I'm thinking of these two as kind of like mid meh familiars that still give you some value, I think they're both kind of in that D tier. Roman Candelabra. So I'm gonna put the spring shoes and the candelabra together because they are effectively the same. I think you still want to put spring shoes ahead of the what's it called? The candelabra because you're actually getting your yellow rays from the Apriling, or not Apriling, the April shower thoughts calendar. And given that you're doing that, I don't think the extra pieces of this with the purple rays are enough to get it over the really cool banish effect that you get from spring shoes. I don't know. I mean, I could be overvaluing that banish because I think that it is true, as noted in chat, that waffle rotating out messes up their value pretty considerably. I don't know. I still like Spring Away though, especially now that we have fun ways that we can kind of like end the combat and or like there are a lot of monsters in run you only really want to encounter one of, and Spring Shoes is always perfect for that. I'm gonna miss it so much when it goes out of standard. I think both of them go in kind of the A tier. I wouldn't say that they are must have, but they're probably kind of high on the scale of the A tier items of the month. Peridot. Oh god. Peridot I think is a must have. It's really, really good. I think there are better items of the month, but it's just super bonkers that you don't really have to worry about encountering your first of anything anymore. It's basically it's kind of like the miniature crystal ball, except fun to use and not a pain to use. Super high quality of life, really really fun. The instant gremlin clear is just ridiculous. Like I can't believe that I did runs in this game for like a decade without getting instant gremlin clear. It's going to be very, very sad when Peridot leaves and we have to do that again. Um, yeah, no, it's sick. It goes easily in the top tier. Um, Tearaway pants. Ugh. I think tearaway pants are our first bad item. Like they're not terrible. They still give you some sleaze damage. You get like a few turns a day out of them. It would be a little better if there was any fun way to use the pants pickpocketing effect. But the closest I can find to a good way to use it is the in Cobb's Knob Harem. You can maybe save a yellow ray if you use pants pickpocketing on the harem girl, and then you use the plus hat percent that you get from Beret to uh, essentially cap the drop on the 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 hat thing, the the veil. I don't know, whatever the hell it is. Um, but even then, it's like you're still spending the turn. It's not. I don't know. I don't like the tearaway pants. I think they're funny. It's a really funny joke, but it's not actually that valuable. Um, Mayhem. Mayhem is really good, but I don't think it's better than Beret. Because, like, when you really think about what you're getting from it, in a 2-day run, you get 300 familiar experience, which is good, but you need to generate so much more of it that it's like a nice chunk. It's not the be all and end all of familiar experience. In terms of bridge parts, you get like, you know, maybe like half a Black House from 3 turns of that thing, which is like fine, but it's not great. And goat cheese saves you essentially, to say 2 turns, because there are a lot of other ways you could, use batwing swoops and stuff like that. I I think I'm fine. Yeah, I think it goes behind Beret. I think it's actually pretty close. Like, I think the value of these two is kind of right next to each other. But I don't really think that there's a universe where I would um, take Mayhem over Beret. Cool, cool. It's going to be funny when I do all of these tiers and then I check in on the tiering that I already did in this sheet and find that I have completely contradicted myself. Just 100% it is going to happen. Mobius Ring. Oh, God, Mobius Ring. Mobius Ring is really awkward because, in theory, the best the best possible usage of Mobius Ring would be pretty high on this list. Because you could get, if you roll perfectly, you're getting 11 delay burn out of the stupid thing. But when I use it in a run, it doesn't feel that strong because the rates are so low that even if you do get like 5 or 6 time cops, you probably aren't getting all of them in delay. It reminds me a little bit of a souped up version of the reanimated reanimator, where in theory you could get all 3 of them in delay, and honestly it wasn't impossible to do it, especially now that you have sneaks and stuff. But yeah, I think I still put Mobius slightly ahead of Beret, just because there are other things you can do with it. The actual modifiers on it are really, really cool. And the paradox, the the minus paradoxicity effects are actually pretty lit. Like mixed berry jelly, actually pretty cool. I think there is a reasonable path for people to, instead of just taking 5 of the Leprechaun spleen items, taking 4 and then doing some berry jelly. I think the familiar experience, it's just sick. Like, I don't think there's going to be a single bleeding edge speedrun that doesn't take it, given how much we need it. I'm going to put it definitely behind our good friends, the Everything Looks Green generators. But I am going to put it ahead of Beret in Mayhem, and I am going to put it in tier A. Because even though it doesn't feel great to use, it's fine. This is actually making me think I probably should just move Beret up to A. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, Apriling Band Helmet. Very, very comfortable item. And sneaks are really cool. Like, honestly, we probably should just kind of do all of the sneak items now. So I'm going to bring all the sneaks up. We have 3 sources of sneaks in standard right now. We've got our cool tuba booms. We've got our big, huge, large avalanches, and we've got our sniper supports. On the scale, I think the weakest of these, we probably can all agree, is the Allied backpack. I think that the second best one is probably Make Huge Large. Three olfactions, even though it's not as powerful as it used to be. Like, it's pure olfaction, and pure olfaction is pretty fucking powerful. It also gives you 15 cold res to start the run, which is sick. Now, granted, you are getting a lot of minus combat from Apriling that we are going to miss at some point. And you are getting probably an extra 140 familiar, or no, 120 familiar experience per day from Apriling, which is also pretty good. But I Make Huge Large has to be first, I think, despite how much I like Apriling. And I think I am actually going to break these up. I am going to put Make Huge Large in the A tier, ahead of Mobius. And I am going to put these in the B tier, behind Mayhem. I did not think I was going to split these up that much, but 3 olfactions plus the help with the mountain quest, like, it's pretty sick. So I think we're good on that. Apriling, oh boy. Oh, not Apriling. April Shower Thoughts. I like April Shower Thoughts a lot, but I don't think I can reasonably say it's a very strong item of the month. It's worth like 2 or 3 free kills a day, so that's nice. Like, that's definitely above anything that these guys are doing for you. It gives you a lot of really nice comfort buffs that I like a lot. It gives you 1 Black Ray with the Northern Explosion. What's it called? Just force drops. It doesn't really do all that much else outside of that. And, like, that's all good, but I would still take 3 sneaks over that, I think. I think it's actually kind of close, but I think I would take 3 sneaks over that. So, yeah, I'm going to keep that in fine. Ooh, now we get to, like, a really tough one. Monodent. Or, in this case, the Decadent, because I liked that icon better. The Decadent is good. Like, it's one of those that it's only good in concert with other items of the month. But it's pretty good. I think that I would put it ahead of the 2 meh familiars, but I don't think I would put it, like, right next to April Shower. I think you can make an argument that it belongs a little higher, but the actual direct turn savings of the items of the month is almost none. Like, you get a bunch of non-free banishes, which are useful, not, like, incredible, but useful. Eh. Oh, yeah, Zinc, just so you know, the Monodent, as you fight constructs, the Tines get little pieces of constructs and add new Tines to the Monodent. So it goes from a Monodent to a Duodent to a Trident to a Quadrident. You can look at the wiki, it's fine. Still, it's very cool. Like, I think it's one of our cooler items of the month. I don't think it's reasonable to put it too high above D, especially in a meta that still has the sensor. I think that once the sensor goes, though, this will shoot up a lot, because that many scaling fights is going to be sick. Okay. Cool. Speaking of sensor, it has to be an S tier because it's basically the means that we are using to level. I don't think I would put it in the top of S tier anymore. Just because... Well, I'll put it this way. I don't think I would put it at the top of S tier because we have some absolutely fucking bonkers items of the month. That's basically it. it's up there. Like, if you don't have sensor, you are almost certainly going to spend some turns power leveling, or you have to like massage your run super super carefully, and you're unable to do some of the cool routing that you do if you just hop into the game and you're level 12 on turn 5 or whatever it is we are now. It it is a meaningful turn save, and it is also just a meaningful kind of like brain save. So I think that it has to go pretty damn high on this list. And on day 2, you get a bunch of bridge parts. That's sick. Also, if you want to get nasty, you can get a septopus and have it probably fail for you. Also, sick. We're having a good time here. All right, so this guy, the Leprechondo. I like the Leprechondo a lot, even though it's not a very good item. I think I would put it behind the. Well, uh, mm, I think I'd put it right before the April Shower Thoughts calendar, but I don't think I would put it much higher because even though it does technically get you, 4 to 5 turns saved per day, that's not quite as much as I think the 3 sneaks that you get from Allied Backpack Pack are worth. Um, the other thing that I don't like about Leprechondo, and again, this is not really a spite thing, it's just kind of it messes with your planning a bit, is the unpredictability of when you get the individual buffs makes it really, really hard to figure out when you start a run when you're actually going to be able to do all of your familiar experience bullshit. Um, reasonably quickly into the run, by 30 turns in, you should have a good sense of when things are going to happen. But it's annoying to not be able to go into your run and know that. So that does give me a little bit of annoyance. It also makes it a lot harder to align its buffs with things, with the obvious exception of Mobius Strip, where you just get 100 turns of it and you can align literally everything with it. Um, yeah, I think it's fine here. You could probably make an argument that it's slightly better than the Allied Backpack Pack, just because that's really just 3 sneaks and nothing else. But I still think that sneaks are a little bit more valuable than, you know, what ends up being 4 to 5 copies and a little bit of a buff. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there and maybe I'll change it later. Darts. So dart actually, this one's incomplete, so we're gonna do one here. Batwings. I'm gonna put Batwings right behind Peridot. Well, maybe. So here's the thing with Batwings. It does fucking everything. I don't think that people remember how much stuff. I think that it's kind of like the Candy Cane Sword Cane, in that the first run that you do without the Candy Cane Sword Cane, you remember how much it just kind of did for you. Like being able to sneak the war, like being able to double your sleaze damage every single time you do that NC and all of that kind of stuff. Batwing is like that, but it's turned up to 11 because it is so fucking valuable on the Penultimate Fantasy Airship quest. It's also 11 item steals a day. It's also 5 free fights a day. It also just essentially solves the level 4 quest for no reason. It counts as 5 bridge parts and five lumber and fasteners in this motor. It just fucking does everything. I'm going to put it before Peridot, because even though Peridot is absolutely busted and cracked, as I list out everything that the Batwings do, I'm like, yeah, that's actually pretty fucking great. It's it's just fucking amazing though. All right, darts. I like darts a lot. and I think it's pretty good. But I don't think it's better than. I don't think that it's better than Aprilling. I think. Because not the cooldown, but kind of like the warm up period while you're actually getting your dart skill, like it takes a while for darts to get to, saving a turn every 30 turns. And outside of the free kill skill, like it's a decent chunk of extra item drop, and it's a decent chunk of extra meat drop for nuns. And that's kind of about it. Probably, like, it's more useful in some avatar paths, obviously, but Were Professor as the obvious mention there, but I think I gotta put it ahead of what's his face, the Allied Backpack Pack, but behind Aprilling, because I think that the extra non-combat rate and familiar XP you're getting from Aprilling is pretty sick, and then you also get the snakes, and it's just a lot. In terms of how many dart free kills are you getting, like in a 1 day run, let's see, you get one turn 0, let's say turn 40, 70, 100, 190, so like 12 to 13. Actually, that's a lot of fucking free kills. Because then so on a 1 day run, it's worth more. On a 2 day run, it is worth a little bit less because then you aren't doing 200 turns on the first day, so you're really just getting like 6 to 7. I think it's fine here. It's more valuable in a 1 day run for sure, but so are a lot of these, I would say. I'm fine with it being here. Toy Cupid's Bow. I think for Toy Cupid's Bow, I am going to place it in meh. I think that it still has the opportunity to go up, and I don't think that it's like if they release any familiars that really need their outfits, it gets better every time. But that requires them to do that, and even though they kind of did with the Skeleton of Grimbo Past, it's not. That part is fine. It's getting a little bit of value from that. It is valuable for getting extra copies out of your chest mimic, and it's valuable for getting extra just slowing down or lowering the number of familiar turns you need to use with your Yeti. But it's not that much of a slowdown. Like, it's effectively plus. Well, no, I guess it is +3, but this one's hard to rate. It also has the really cool item drop effect that I do love, even though it is really, really frustrating. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move Monodent up to here and leave Toy Cupid there, because I think Monodent is almost inarguably better than Toy Cupid Bow right now. But I don't think the Toy Cupid Bow is like worse than these kind of like fine but not amazing familiars that we have. Alright, Blood Cubic Zirconia. This is easy. It's maybe the best item of the month that was ever printed. Refract is absolutely nuts. It comes with a bunch of non-free banishes you can use. This is basically the most buff help you get of almost any item of the month if you're a Mist class. What the hell do you get from this? You get like 400% Mysticality for essentially free. You get 111 or whatever it is percent spell damage, which is sick. I don't think that this trivializes Black House, but it's fine. It's still incredible. And that's not even mentioning, you know, it gives you 9-ish free kills a day. Probably more on the 7 to 9 part, because if you don't, especially if you don't have sensor, the actual free kill number you get per day is going to be a lot lower. But refraction is one of the craziest mechanics they ever dropped. It's crazy. Even though it's hard to see how you get as much value out of it without sensor, I think that it is a very, very worthy number one. All right, Boneson, or Bobson. I need to stop saying Boneson. We're going to get to your favorite item of the month, the Shrunken Head. I am going to put Shrunken Head, this may surprise some people, in fine. Well, yeah, I'll put it in fine. Fuck it. I think there are going to be enough relatively obvious uses for it, namely bowling balls, that it will save, 1 to 2 turns pretty straightforwardly in an average run. I think there are enough niche uses that can just get you little benefits that will help a lot. And I think that the buff thing is fine. We don't really have like a million things we want to do in combat right now. I mean, we have darts, we have darts and flyers and stuff right now. I don't think that it is going to be a fun C tier item, because it's not. At least fun to use. Like, it's fun in concept. I'm not saying that the concept isn't sick. The concept is pretty cool. But, like, it's fine. So, it gets a little bit of a spite drop, but not like, I am the most spiteful man alive kind of thing. I'm realizing that it is 6:30, so I gotta actually wrap this up a lot quicker than I thought I did. Evolving Organism. Despite all of the fun in the contest thread, that is a bottom tier. Clan VIP. That is 3 free fights. 3 free kills, I guess. I'm going to put 3 free kills above the Shrunken Head and below the Monodent, I think. Well, yeah, I'll put it behind the Monodent. Screw it. I just think the 3 authority kills is neat. It's fine. It's not it's nothing to write home about, but it isn't nothing. So it goes in the kind of C area. The Skeleton of Crimbo Past does have some nice buffs. That's cool. It's still significantly worse than these two, and I would say probably worse than the Tearaway Pants. So we're going to put that back there. Cyber Realm being 10 free fights is actually kind of nice in current standard. Like, we need the fights for our familiar experience. But, like, I feel weird putting it behind one of the familiars that actually needs the experience. So we're going to put it under the D tier, because it is decidedly fine. It is not anything... Like, I love Cyber Realm, but its in-run use, definitely nothing to write home about. So it's fine. Taker Space. Oh, God. So Taker Space is 9 turns a day, which is actually, like, quite a lot of turns. Like, I think it's better than Beret, despite the fact that I don't actually like it that much. I'm still... Like, it's certainly below, like, McHuge Large and that. But saving 9 turns on the shore is sick in a 1-day run, and obviously a lot worse in a 2-day run. I think in a 1-day run, it would belong probably around here. Given that I tend to pay more attention to 2-day runs, I'm going to put it ahead of... Ooh, wait. I will put it right next to the item that also gets better in 1-day runs. The darts. Fun times. So, we are now down to 5 more items. It seems like we are losing members of the chat. Oh wait, no, we're not losing too many. We still got like 27 in here. Nice. 27 in here. We got 8 on Twitch. I'm crushing it. Black Apron, I'm just gonna put in the meh category. You know what? I'm actually gonna put it in the bad category because you don't. It is not a 100% chance you actually get something good out of it. And now that we don't have Bofa in standard, that makes the dishes even less palatable than they were before. You also kind of need more turn gen right now, so I don't think that everyone is actually going to use it. The peace turkey... I think I'm going to put it in the C tier, right ahead of the April Shower Thoughts, because I don't think you are reasonably getting 3 to 4 of the banishes a day on it. I do think the minus combat is actually more valuable than some people give it credit for. But I think it's kind of squarely below the Leprechondo spot, even though I think it's a little bit ahead of April Shower. Alright, and now we get to 3 weirdos. I'm gonna do Codpiece first. Codpiece is going to slot in at meh. I think that the actual ceiling of Codpiece is a little higher than that, but it requires more items of the month that actually slot into it, which, you know, not a guarantee we're going to get. And otherwise it's just, you know, a really nice buff, but it's not that much of a buff. Like, you know, a 50% item drops, that's cool. You are getting that exact same thing from the Skeleton Akrimbo Past, and it's down here. I think that it is better than these guys. And yes, that is true. You can get 150% meat if you are filthy, filthy rich, which many of my listeners are. But I don't think that I can reasonably say, like, yes, this belongs here. God. Yeah, maybe... I'm actually going to move it into bad. Because I think the more I talk about it, the more I'm kind of like, it's fine, but you really don't need it yet. Yeah, I think that's a perfectly reasonable place to put it. Especially since it gives you plus 60 sleaze damage in most configurations that we'll actually be doing, which is indeed better than the Terrorite Pants. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that leaves us with the Chest Mimic and the Seal Clubbing Club. Oh, this one's tough. Chest Mimic being our only source of summoning monsters that isn't the Peridot. Like, I think that it and Peridot are pretty inextricably linked. I would argue that even though Chest Mimic gives you better summons, so to speak, because you can grab things like Mountain Man and a free kill option that you can use your club forwards on. I still don't think... I just don't think it's more powerful than the Peridot. I think that Peridot giving you effectively 30 summons a day... Now, realistically, you aren't using 30 summons a day from it, and they're not all worth, 1 or 2 turns. But, like, we've had conversations in Ass recently around, man, what the hell do you even do with 22 eggs? And I think the answer is you might not actually need 22 eggs in a effective speed run, because any eggs that you are making that you don't really need, you could have just been spending turns with, not a great familiar, but the peace turkey and getting an extra banish or a free run or something like that. I I just think that Peridot changes the game in a fundamentally different way, and it doesn't require the same resource expenditure to use that you are getting from the chess mimic. I do think it is true, as noted in chat, that the whole run is currently routed around using this guy. But I don't necessarily think the run being routed around using him is a sign that it is, you know, the best, like one of the best items on the standard. So I think I am actually going to put it in, like, it's close. They're both sort of like, this one's the end of the S, and I think this one's top of A. I think I'm putting it at the top of awesome rather than within the S tier. I think I like that. And that leaves us with the Legendary Seal Clubbing Club. This one is also a little frustrating, because it's just a flat 5 turns saved with the free kills, 5 turns saved by Wanderers and Delay. I think that you can say that's a little more than 5, because you can copy things you actually need, and things that are useful in other ways, although we don't have a lot of stuff that requires copying like specific monsters and putting them into specific places right now. So and then you've got the Club Across the Battlefield, which is effectively 5 really weird free kills if you use it on monsters that you just need an item on and nothing else from. So that's pretty sick. I definitely don't think that it is better than Batwings, Censor, or BCZ. I think these 3 kind of stand alone in their own little group there. So it really comes down to, do I think this is an S tier item, or if it's in this kind of like awesome tier that's not necessarily, you know, if you don't have this, your speed run is going to be like irrevocably worse. Which, to be fair, like if you don't have Chess Mimic, your run's going to be irrevocably worse. I'm sorry. And the same goes for pretty much everything B and above. Like, I would say I'd be very, very surprised if someone got a gold star and they didn't have everything in these top 3. I could maybe see skipping some down from here, like especially these guys at the bottom. I think you could very reasonably get a, not necessarily a gold star run, but a run that is at least competitive without any of these 5 items in the month. I mean, the Evolving Organism is never going to be used by anyone except for Philemon, so definitely not that. But I think... this is tough. I think I am just going to put it right here. Because even though it is 15 plus turns a day, it isn't as unspeakably powerful as the stuff that's above it. And that does matter to some extent. So there we have it. We have a tier list. Is it a good tier list? I don't know. Does it actually match the tier list that I made a few days ago? Probably not. We don't have a ton of time left, but I do kind of want to compare 2026 with the 2025 one we made last year. So last year we had Book of Facts, Chest Mimic, and McHuge Large up there. It's interesting that we put McHuge Large behind these. This is making me think that maybe I am being a little bit harsh on McHuge Large by putting them behind the free run Purple Ray machines. We put Apriling way lower this year, damn. Like, all of this stuff went away, basically. This guy went down a lot. This guy stayed relatively the same. You know... Yeah, I think I'm okay moving the huge large up after thinking about this even medium hard. I don't think I would put it above the Seal Clubbing Club still. I think because of Parrot, I probably would put it higher if Peridot didn't exist. Because the extra olfactions would be a lot more useful. And then I don't think Chess Mimic deserves to go up right now. I think Peridot has lowered his value a little bit. You may hear my daughter in the background. I apologize. I'm actually feeling pretty good about this one. I think we did pretty good. And it also, to me, feels like you look at this and it's like, damn, we have a strong-ass standard, guys. Which we all knew, but it's really strong. We have items that we thought were must-haves that are now, like, a little below. That's sick. Look at all the new cool stuff we got. We lost the Book of Facts, and we're just like, now we're fine. God, that's nuts. Man, this is fun. Alright. I need to go help with my daughter's bedtime. So I am going to call it here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If you tuned in on Twitch, or one of the 8 people that were on there, appreciate you. Not going to be a big Twitch streamer anytime soon, but you know, I'll do a few things there. If you were on the Discord, I really appreciate that. Always good to chat with y'all. And yeah, I'll try and do one of these. I think I did 2 of them last year. I'll try to do more than 2 this year. Probably not that many more than 2, but I'll probably do a few more. So, all right. Have a great day, y'all, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.